Hello, this is Stormcloud SC2, and I'm going to be casting a game today between Liquid Huk and PredY. Before we start, we're just going to take a brief look while they just start their games, and just look at both their profiles from Liquipedia. We see that PredY is from Czech, and he played StarCraft Brood Wars, so it's very good. Just some achievements he has is he took first place in the DreamHack Winter 2011 BYOC Tournament number 2, and he also took first place in the Zotac Cup number 24. If we look at Huk's profile, a bit more extensive. He's a very well-known player. He's a Protoss player, known for using a lot of sentries. There's a lot of nicknames: Huk Norris, the Incredible Huk. Just some things that he's won is 2011 MLG Orlando, GSL August Codes, 2011 North American Battle.net Invitational, Home Story Cup 3, DreamHack Summer 2011. That's not what we're watching the replays from. 2010 MLG DC and 2010 MLG Rally. So obviously, very well-known player with a very strong fan base. He's a Protoss player. Sorry, this is coming out very stuttery. He's from Canada, and I'm actually a huge fan of him, so I'm very excited for this game. We're going to see PredY is actually our Terran player down here. He's going to be walling off early, and he has no refineries. Whereas for Huk, we just barely have this gas going down. And we have a gateway, obviously, not walling off. All very standard. Huk actually is now on Team EG, but at the time of this, I believe he was still on Team Liquid. So that is what happened there. We're going to have this probe get in just early enough that he won't be walled out. Because this... my voice sounds like a dying monster. PredY was about to throw down, I would expect, another supply depot. Just if we look at his supply, he was almost done, and then he would have walled that probe out. But the probe got in, and this is on the map Terminus, and Huk was very lucky that he scouted the correct way first. And just because on this map it's very large, we see fairly easy to secure natural. Third base, very different. On this one, we see there's rocks blocking the ramp, so it's hard for you to tag this third base, but it's easy to secure, but you always need to be careful. These rocks right here. So Huk was lucky that he was able to scout there, so we can see where PredY is and everything. We're going to be seeing a command center morphing into a orbital command. And interesting supply depot placement, I guess, in case Huk tries to get some early zealots in, he could be able to block them off slightly. We see Huk is getting some minerals, very impressive, although this Marine is following him, so we won't get very far. And it looks like PredY is still scouting Huk, but he has not found him yet. He scouted the wrong way, so now at least he knows where he's going to be. We have Cybernetics coming down, and we're actually chrono boosting out the Stalker. That is for defense against this Marine that is coming, I would imagine, except for it isn't coming anymore. So he may just begin that. He may be actually, if we follow this rally point, he's actually going to be pushing down into PredY's base, because has he scouted? Hold on 1 minute. If we look at Huk's vision, he has not scouted this fast expand, but he can probably expect it just based off like the lack of anything in the base and no wall off there. So he may be just trying to, and we actually see Huk early expanding as well. He's just trying to do some early damage to us. So we have the Stalker coming in now. He's not aware of this, but he's probably expecting it. However, I think this bunker is going to finish in time. The Stalker won't be able to do too much damage. This natural is about to come down for PredY, which could be bad. I think this bunker is going to complete, and yes it does. So Stalker will be negated unless he tries to run it through in here, which he does not. Problem for Huk is that PredY already has this natural down, so he's going to have a very good economic lead, especially just because he's Terran and he can get mules, and he already has the orbital command. His natural is halfway done, so he won't be too far behind. Look at the income. Huk is already getting more gas and minerals, so because I believe this because he has more workers, yes. He has one more worker, so that would account for that. However, very soon we're going to see PredY push ahead just because he has that mule starting to get saturated. I bet if we already look, minerals are already in PredY's lead now. Gas is still in Huk's. I don't think we're even mining from gas on PredY. He's just throwing it down now, and Huk has 2 gas down. Only one is finished. We see 5 gateways down for Huk. And besides that, no other tech. His natural's going to be finishing soon, so we're probably going to be seeing a probe transfer around now. Going to want to start mining from this gas. We don't see a transfer, although we may in a minute or two. Still, the stalker's sitting here trying to kill off this rocks. So later in the game, he'll be able to push down there easier. Sentry pushing out should be able to stop this SCV from scouting, because PredY does not know about this. Yes, he does. And he's going to see it's finished. There we finally have the probe transfer, a bit late for that, so Huk took a little while to get that saturated, but that is okay, because as long as you're still mining fully from your main base, it doesn't hurt you that bad. Wait, you're going to have a second bunker coming down, and really if we look at the production tab, we're starting Stim Pack, always a good thing for Terran player to get, and really nothing besides that. If we look at the units tab, we can see that Huk has a Zealot, 2 Stalkers, and 4 Sentries. Huk is very well known for his Sentry plays, because he can do very good force fields, and he just likes to get a lot of them, sort of like how we saw Mana in the last game, get a lot of Sentries, especially early game. Huk is just very good at that. You're always going to see some very impressive force fields out of him, so I'm excited to see this many Sentries out of him. In fact, I'm very excited for this game in general. And PredY scouts this, so he knows these rocks are going to be down, so he needs to start being careful of that. And I think he can sense that some sort of push is coming in just by how aggressive Liquid Huk is being and wanting to kill these. I think PredY senses there's some kind of attack coming. In fact, that's why he throws down 2 more bunkers down here. So he should be very well defended. I think Huk may be expecting less, so his push may not be very strong. In fact, Huk will probably pull back once he sees all this. He's getting well saturated down here. And now Huk is going to start to push in these 2 Stalkers down here, scout that, but then he's going to push in up here with these. Still going through, you might want to, nope, he's going to pull back. Otherwise, you might want to force field behind these bunkers just to prevent repairing on them while you kill them. We see actually ghosts coming out for PredY. Those are going to be very effective. We don't see any cloaking yet, but they can get EMPs, which are incredibly good against an army. Those force fields are going to be preventing the repair on these bunkers, so both those are going to go down. The problem is there's 2 more bunkers down here for PredY, so it's going to be really hard for Huk to do a lot of damage, especially since it looks like these are all repairing that bunker. So he's going to have to pull back for now just because he can't do any damage, although he can run up here if he tries to. That bunker starts to get cancelled. Not very good saturation for PredY, although if we look at the income tab, Huk is actually, yes, ahead right now, because they both have their naturals down, and Huk has better saturation. Getting a lot of SCVs kills here. A couple Marines here, they should be able to get taken out fairly easily. And we actually have 2 Zealots, and a reflection of one of them trying to kill this bunker. It doesn't do too much, especially if that SCV is trying to kill that Zealot, not doing too much. Huk is going to have to pull back here just because he's not doing very much damage, because those bunkers, he really can't take them down yet because he doesn't have enough units. We have 2 mules down here, which are going to help the economy. However, we do see that Huk is still far ahead in the economy. Try to push with that Stalker, I don't know what he's doing there. Obviously, hold back. We're probably, I would expect, going to see a 3rd base out of Huk sometime soon, just to further push that economic lead, because right now PredY's really on his toes because that was a strong push against Huk, and he almost got held down. In fact, we're going to be seeing him pushing again with some more Stalkers. Shuts down that bunker. He can't be too aggressive though, because these ghosts are out here now, and they can snipe and EMP. And we even have combat shield coming down for the Marines. So we're going to be seeing mostly a Ghost Marine army out of PredY right here, which can be very effective against a Protoss player. Thankfully, he's getting this robotics, so he's going to be getting out some Colossus fairly soon. And we're going to be... Huk is still actually pushing in here, but at the same time, both players are sort of starting to macro up for a big engagement. We're going to see Huk getting out those Colossus, and we're going to see PredY getting out more Ghost, Marauders, and Marines. Do we have a Stargate down? We maybe... Not quite yet. He's going to want to get some medevacs though, just to support his army. Is that what we're seeing down here? No, we're actually going to be seeing he doesn't have a factory yet, so we're going to be seeing a factory and then a Stargate. Just so we can have those medevacs when he pushes out. He's definitely going to need that. He has the Stim Pack done, and Stim Pack doesn't help you very much if you don't have the medevacs to kill yourself. Those 2 bunkers get cancelled right, and these Stargates push in. And I believe that Huk has scouted these ghosts by now. There's not too much you can do about that yet, though. Still trying to poke in with these 3 Stalkers. Very good control of them, keeping them mostly alive, except for one of them that died. And we have a lot of Zealots back in the main base, but we're also producing Colossus and Thermal Lens. I don't believe that we see any upgrades for either of these players besides combat shield, concussive shells, but no armor or attack upgrades for either of them. We do have a third base going down for PredY, and by the time this completes, it'll complete about the time Huk pushes out or be finished before that. Just because Huk's going to want to get this thermal lance done, we have some more problems going down. He's going to want to get out more Colossus than just one before he pushes out, so this should be a fairly safe expand for PredY, although he doesn't have any medevacs out yet, which he's going to need to get, because if there's an engagement, Huk's shields will all heal on his units. However, for PredY, there won't be any healing just because he's Terran, and without medevacs, all of his units will be weakened, especially if he uses that stim pack. It's automatically going to hurt all of his units. Scans here sees the one Colossus and a lot of Zealots. I do not believe that we have charge yet. In fact, I don't think that we have a... No, we don't have Twilight Council. He's going to want to get charged though with this many Zealots. We have one Colossus out, which should be able to deal a lot of damage. However, these ghosts could get very good EMPs off. We're going to see that they both have full energy. We don't have cloaking yet, but we may be seeing some EMPs here. There's one right there, taking out all the shields. And there's another one there taking out another shields on all the stalkers. So all of Huk's units right now are out of shields. However, we do see PredY's units are very soft, and we're warping in 3 more Zealots here, which should, once they finally warp in, they can do a lot of damage. And the problem is with stim back that PredY used, his units were too weak without the medevacs. So he's going to be pushing out now for the counterattack, and going to leave his Colossus and two Zealots behind. Actually, he's decided to take them. And we actually have another Colossus out now for Huk, so his attack should be very powerful. Especially since PredY, his third base is down now, which cost him a lot, but he's not going to have time to saturate it before Huk's attack hits. So that really actually hurt him, and he still has no medevacs out. I do not believe he has a starport. Okay, he does, and he's trying to get out 2 Vikings instead of a medevac just to do damage to those Colossus. I don't think they're going to be out in time. They will be out just for the engagement, but only 2 of them won't be able to do very much damage, especially with all these stalkers and sentries. They'll be able to kill it very quickly. We have 1 Colossus here and a second coming. So PredY senses that there's going to be a lot of Colossus, but I think for him, medevacs would be a safer choice just because Colossus will do a lot of damage, so the medevacs will semi-negate that just by helping heal his units. And we pulling back, try to delay this push for as long as he can. This third base may get shut down by Huk, or we may see an engagement. The force field's very good, trapping some of his units. We're going to see the 2 Vikings and some units come up here, and Huk pulls his Colossus over there to try to prevent that. Stalker's actually focused fighting the Vikings right now, which is probably what PredY wanted because that's better than firing on his units, but he uses a stim which hurts him. Also, these Zealots are going to come around now and do a lot of damage. His Colossus are also cleaning everything up, cleaning up all the workers that were down here. And he still has both of them alive. The Vikings really didn't do much. They're still pretty weak on shield just because of those EMPs in the last engagement, but one of them didn't have that. The Vikings didn't do too much damage. And PredY's still getting out a few units here. 2 more Vikings, which will be able to do a lot of damage before Liquidite can kill him. But the thing is, with 4 sentries and 3 sentries and 4 stalkers, he's able to kill those off very quickly, constantly bringing in more Zealots. And we see 1 more Colossus being produced, and that is where PredY is GG'd. I think that the problem here was just that he didn't get those medevacs, and the ghosts were good, very good at EMPs. In fact, that actually probably is what would have helped him the most in that. Problem is he needed those medevacs to keep his army alive. And third base was just a bad idea because by the time it would finish, Huk would be pushing out. So it wouldn't really work for him. Huk also had a invisible base coming down up here. Good game from both of them. Again, I'm a big fan of Huk, so I may have been slightly biased towards him, but I think he did good just on his Colossus production and focus firing down those Vikings. So thank you. This has been Stormcloud SC2, and thank you all for watching.